All right. We are live. Good morning, everybody. Eric F. King here. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm one of the Digital Mentors Rockstar clients, and I'm also a sales and leadership coach. And today, I am so excited to share this information with you because this information has been very beneficial to me and many people that I serve. All right. So before I get into that, I just want to share my background real quick so you know who you're speaking, who you're listening to. My name is Eric F. King, and I started in the world of sales over 20 years ago by accident. I was recruited by a company called Xerox, and we sold copiers. And I thought I'd be going into advertising or something fun and exciting, but they put me in sales, and I didn't want to be in sales because I thought that salespeople are pushy or salesy or sleazy. And I'm a nice guy. I don't want to be pushy or sleazy or salesy. So anyway, I was advised by my dad to take the job anyway and learn how to sell. So I met a guy there who was one of the top salespeople, and he was the nicest guy I've ever met. He wasn't pushy. He never put anybody in an awkward situation. He built relationships and with people and helped them achieve their goals by recommending the right copiers. All right. So my first 60 days was horrible. I couldn't sell any copiers, or even I couldn't even sell paper. But then my next, year and a half, I became one of the top reps. And I say that to say that anybody can learn how to sell. Okay. It's a learned skill, and selling is service, right? Selling is service. So, that's why, I love this community, Digital Mentors, because they're here to serve people. They're here to serve. All right. So today I'm going to talk about 5 steps to success in a sales call. All right. So I've been working with entrepreneurs for many years. And one thing I found about a lot of entrepreneurs is they have a zone of genius, they have a passion to help people, they have a product that can help people, but they may not know how to sell it, right? Because selling is not intuitive. It's actually a skill you have to learn. So that's when I got into sales coaching and helping people become, I call it a compassionate closer instead of a traditional closer. And I created the compassionatecloser.com. So let's get right into it. The number one step when you want to jump on a sales call, and by the way, let me just define sales call for those of you that may not know. If you either meet someone online, maybe you're conversing online, or you even meet someone at a Starbucks, right? And they have some interest in what you're doing, and then you get on a call. Either you're on a phone call or maybe you're on a Zoom call, and now it's time for you to tell them what you do and get them to buy your offer. That's the sales call. All right. So the first thing you want to do before a sales call is prepare for it. You want to prepare mentally and physically. How do you do that? Well, you want to prepare your mindset. You want to have a positive mindset when you're going into your sales call, right? If there's anything that you're thinking about, any problems in your life that you're dealing with, you have to put it aside because you don't want it to affect your sales call, right? So even if you have to listen to music, some people exercise, some people do yoga, whatever you have to do, you want to put yourself in the right frame of mind to do this sales call. And also, you have to look at your environment. Make sure your environment is conducive to a successful sales call, right? There's no noise, no kids running around, no dogs running around, right? You want to make sure you have something to write on, something to write with, so you are prepared for this call. All right. And then you also want to visualize success. We call it positive imagery. Visualize success. See yourself succeeding. See your prospect happy to buy from you at the end, right? Positive imagery. Believe that it will go well. All right. So that's number one. Number two is you want to build rapport. You want to build rapport. So what do I mean by that? Here's the deal. You don't want to get on a call and just start talking about business. Okay. That's the last thing you want to do, because then it becomes transactional. You ever notice that it's harder to sell something if it's just a transaction? Because then, your prospect is comparing you to everybody else that's trying to sell them the same thing. So that's why you want to build rapport, get to know them outside of the business, right? And it's pretty easy to do that, right? So like, let's say you're on Zoom. I'm in Virginia. Let's say the person I'm talking to is in California. Now I know that beforehand, right? And I can just start talking about that. I've been to California. I went to Disneyland when I was a kid, and we start talking about that, right? Or I see something in their background, maybe a flower or an animal, maybe their dog. And I said, what kind of dog is that? Because I know they're interested in their dog, right? So what kind of dog is that, right? Even their kids, right? Oh, how many kids do you have, right? So you become friends. They get to know you because people buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? So you want to build rapport. That's the first thing you want to do before you talk about any business. So they start to like you, right? Okay. So that's number 2. Number 3 is you want to lead the call. This is probably the most important thing you want to do. And this is something that most people never do. They never lead the call. Now, when I say lead the call, I mean you're in control of the call. You're in charge. It's your call. Okay. And I'll just give you an example, and then I'll break it down for you. Right. So you meet with the prospect and you say something like, okay, Mr. Prospect, we're going to meet today for 30 minutes. And I'm going to start by asking you a few questions about your business. Right. And then after that, if I see that you qualify for my service, then I'll share the details of my service. Then I'll answer any questions you have. Okay. And then you'll have a chance to buy or not, whatever you choose to do at the end. Fair enough? And then they're going to say, sure, no problem. So now let me break down what I just did, because there is a psychological element to everything I just said. All right. So I started with telling them how much time we have. We have 30 minutes. So I'm telling them, we don't need to ramble for an hour because some people get on the call and they'll give you a story for an hour, right? You want to let them know that we have 30 minutes. Okay. Then you want to let them know that I'm going to ask you some questions. So you are getting permission to ask questions about, it could be their business or their family. If you're in a business like maybe insurance or something, you want to know about their family, if they're married, if they have children, things of that nature, right? So you're asking permission to ask questions. So it's not awkward when you're asking questions, right? Then you're letting them know that if they qualify, you're going to share your offer. This is huge because you're telling them that they may not even qualify, right? They are more likely to buy from you if they know that they may not even qualify, because sometimes in their mind, they want to qualify. You see, it's, a lot of people think that, why would you say that? Because everybody's going to qualify. Maybe not. Right. If I see that you are not a good fit for what I have, I don't want you to buy it because I'll look bad at the end. Right. It's not a win-win situation. Right. So you only want to help people purchase an offer that's going to benefit them in the long run. All right. So that's the meaning of that right there. Then I'm going to answer any questions they have. So they know that I'm going to answer all their questions, right? They don't have to interrupt. I'm going to answer all their questions. That's important, right? And then at the very end, I said, then you'll make a decision whether to buy or not. Fair enough. That there is huge because I gave them an out, right? I said, you don't have to buy. You don't have to buy. You could, but you don't have to. And that's powerful because, again, you'll have more people that will buy your offer when they know that that there is a way out. But when you want to push them into a corner, then they're not interested, right? Have you ever called somebody up and told them about something and said, oh, there's this business you have to join, or there's this product you have to buy, and they're like questioning why maybe it's not for me, right? But if you said something like, you know what, I came across something I want to show you, you may or may not be interested, then they're like, oh, okay, well, let me see if I'm interested. You see what I'm saying? So it's funny how that works, but it really always works, right? So give them an out, and it gets them more comfortable to share more information with you. All right. So we're talking about leading the call. Now, what happens if you don't lead the call? Let me tell you what happens. Think about this. Have you ever had a call where you get there and the person, the prospect, takes over the call. They say something like, this literally happened to me. I got on a call with a young man, and the call was for 30 minutes. And he says, he looks at his watch and says, you know what, Eric, I just realized I have another appointment, and so I only have about 15 minutes. So can you just, tell me real quick what it's about, and I can make my decision and go. So here's what most people do at that point. They say, sure. And they just start rattling off everything that they do. Well, I can help you do this, that, what do you think? And most of the time, the prospect is going to say, interesting. I'll call you if I'm interested. Because number one, you did not control the call. You did not find out anything about them. The call is gone at that point. The chances of you making the sale is slim to none. Okay. So let me tell you what I did when that happened to me, right? So the gentleman said, I only have 15 minutes. Can you just rush me along? I said to him, well, actually, I can't rush it because first of all, I have some questions to ask you. So here's what you can do. You can either postpone the call so we can set another time, right? That's fine with me. Or you can tell the person that you just talked to, let them know that you're going to be here for 30 minutes. It's up to you. And of course, say it with a smile, right? And he said, oh, okay. So he called the person and said, you know what, I'm going to be here longer. And I had my 30-minute call. And I didn't have to rush my call. I took control of the call. Okay. So that's leading the call. So another example is when someone gets on the call with you and just starts asking you all these questions. Okay, so how much is it? And how do I know it's going to work? And do you know anybody that this worked for? Like it's like an interrogation, right? It's like you're in a room and you have these investigators interrogating you, boom, 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 boom. And sometimes you get out of that sales call sweating like, oh my God, right? So that's an example of not leading the call. And that has happened to me many times. But let me tell you what to do. It's very simple what you do. When someone starts asking you questions, right, one after the other, taking control, this is how you take control of the call. You say, well, you know what? That's a good question. I'll be glad to answer it. But before that, I need to find out. Then you start asking your questions. What you have effectively done is turn the tables, and now you're in charge. The person asking questions is in charge. So you can do it very politely. I do it politely, but I take control of the call by asking them some questions, right? All right. And it's not like I'm not going to answer their questions, but I'll do it when I want to, right? I'm not going to just jump into price if we haven't talked about their needs and wants, right? All right. So that's leading the call. And that is number 3. So number 4 is asking the magic questions. Okay. So I have found that a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs get on a call and they believe so much in what they do that they think their offer will sell itself. Right. And because of that, they just get on the call and they're just talking benefits and features, benefits and features, benefits and features. They don't ask the questions that will actually let them know what the person they're talking to really wants. And that's crucial. You have to know what they want. Okay. So I'm going to give you some of the magic questions today. All right. So the first question is, you want to know what their number one goal is, what their goal is, what they want to get out of it. Okay. So let's say I'm going to use a few examples. And let's say you are in health and wellness. You have maybe a program for weight loss, right? So you want to know, how much would you like? How many pounds would you like to lose by when, right? Or let's say you're in credit repair, right? You want to know how many points they want to increase their credit score by when, right? A financial planner, how much money do you want to lose? How much money do you want to save, right? So something like that. So then when you find out that when they give you the answer, then you want to know why. It's not enough to know their goal. You want to know why, because you're going to use that information. Okay. So, so you want to lose 40 pounds in 5 months. Okay. And why do you want to lose 40 pounds in 5 months? Right. So they're going to tell you, well, if I lose 40 pounds in 5 months, I'll be able to play with my kids more. I'll be healthier, things of that nature, right? I'll be able to fit in my old jeans, right? So they're going to give you the answer. Okay. Then you're going to ask a deeper question. You're going to say, so if you're able to lose 40 pounds in 5 months and play with your kids and be healthier, how would that make you feel? And then you're going to see their face light up. It happens all the time. And they're going to say, wow, if that happens, I'm going to feel so accomplished. I feel like I'm a real good dad because I'm spending more time with my kids. And they'll tell you exactly why they need it. And you can use this in any field, right? Credit repair, right? So if you're able to, boost your credit score by 100 points, why do you want to do that? Well, I want to buy a house for my kids, right? Okay. So how would that make you feel? Well, if I'm able to buy a house for my kids, then my daughter can have her own room. She doesn't have to share a room with her brothers. It will just feel so good to me to know that she's happy, right? So you've taken them on what we call an emotional high, which separates you from all your competitors that are just giving them benefits and features. All right. So then when you're done with that, so that's one line of questioning. Then the next one is the emotional low, which is, what is stopping you or slowing you down from accomplishing this goal of yours? And then they're going to tell you the problems that they have, right? And how does that make you feel? And then you're going to ask, if, God forbid, you're not able to lose that weight and you're the same weight in 6 months, how would that make you feel? And they're going to say, oh my God, it's going to be depressing. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do, my health is failing. Like, it will be horrible. Now, that's an emotional low. So I just took you on a journey that you're going to take your prospect on. And the reason you do all of this is when you get to the point where you actually make your offer, because that's the next step, right? So your next step, and you asked your questions, you're making your offer, and you're telling them, okay, based on what you said, this is what I can do for you. I can help you in this way and that way, and the cost is $4,000 or whatever it is, right? Now, at that point, some people are going to say, okay, and they're going to buy, right? But then some people are going to give you what we call an objection, which means they're not ready to buy, they have questions. Now, I will say this, a lot of people don't like objections. They feel that, oh, if he has an objection, then he's not interested. No, objections are normal. I went to the store to buy shoes. I walked in, the guy came up to me and said, how can I help you? I said, oh, no, I'm just looking. I wasn't just looking, I was looking for shoes, right? But I want to do it in my own time, right? Okay. So objections are good. So real quickly, I'm just going to share with you a couple objections that people get. I'm sure you got that. I've got them. One objection is, I don't have the money. Or I just don't have the money, or it's too expensive. So when someone gives you an objection, the first thing you do is, first of all, smile, show it's not a big deal. Okay. Don't act dejected. It's okay. Okay. And then you want to isolate the objection. In other words, okay, so if the money was right, if that wasn't the issue, would you be interested in going forward? And they say, yeah, sure. Now you've isolated the issue. So you only have to talk about money. Because if you don't isolate the objection, then they can come up with number 2 and number 3 and number 4, right? So you isolate the objection. And then what you do is you go back to all the information they gave you to overcome the objection, right? So if you don't buy, if you don't join, then how would you be able to get that house you want? And how will you be able to have that room, for your bedroom for your daughter, instead of her staying with her brothers in the same, like, how are you going to be able to do that? Right. And then they're going to start thinking of ways for them to buy. And you help them along, right? Say things like, I'm here to help you. I want to help you. Now, how can we make this happen? Right. Right. Another objection I'll tell you real quick is, I have to think about it. People say, I have to think about it. Right. Sounds, logical. I have to think about it. But here's what you don't want to just walk away. You want to ask them, okay, well, I understand. I understand. So what is it exactly that you want to think about? Because maybe I can help you with that. right? Is it the money or is it something else? Because you want to know what they want to think about, because if they tell you, then you can overcome that objection. All right. And then, the last thing is you close the deal, they say yes, and they want to buy, and then you congratulate them. Congratulations on your decision. Okay. You made a great decision for yourself and your company. You made a great decision for yourself and your family today. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. Okay. So you let them know that they made a great decision, because some people have buyer's remorse, right? All right. So those are the tips I want to give you today. Again, prepare for the call. Okay. Build rapport, lead the sale, ask the magic questions, and close the deal. All right. So at this time, I would love to answer your questions. Are there any questions that pop up? Let me see if there's any questions. I would love to answer your questions. All right. Let's see. All right. Well, thank you, Tanya. I love that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Posture and positioning. Correct. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brian. Brian, Anthony. Appreciate it. Let's see. Okay. Thank you. Let's see if there's anything else. Any particular questions? Any particular questions that you have? Maybe you've had a sales call lately and you want to get some advice on something that happened. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that if you are not a part of Digital Mentors yet, you definitely want to go and get your free trial. Okay, go to digitalmentors.com. Digital Mentors literally changed my life. Okay, it changed my life, because a lot of the things I do, I'm able to do online because of Digital Mentors. I'm able to create a course and a coaching program and all of that, right? And successful one. So definitely go to digitalmentors.com. You have a 14-day trial, and you can see everything that we do and how we help people here. All right. All right. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Any questions? Any questions? I know somebody out there has a question. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. Well, if there are no questions, then I'm going to jump off. So I'll just wait a couple minutes here, see if there's anybody has questions, because again, I am here to answer any questions you have regarding your sales call. Regarding your sales call. All right. Let me just check here. Okay, thank you. I see one here. What tips do you have for those who need more confidence in their calls? Great question. Great question. So I've been selling for over 25 years. Okay, so I've worked with a lot of people. And do you know confidence comes from doing it, right? You don't need confidence to do an effective call. You need courage. You need courage. It's not really confidence. You gain confidence as you go along, right? So, like when I was giving you examples of when people say, Eric, I only have 15 minutes, rush it along. The first time that happened to me, I rushed it along because I didn't have confidence. But then later, when I learned what to do, I had the courage to tell them that unfortunately I can't rush it because I need to ask you some questions, right? So what I would say is just have some courage to start. Have some courage to start. Know that you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. Some people will buy, some people won't, right? Make up in numbers what you lack in skill, right? Talk to more people, because you will make mistakes. Yeah, absolutely. That's how you get better. You can't get better by just reading it or reading about it or listening to it. You just have to do it. So I hope that helps. Also, personal development also helps. I'm big into personal development, right? These books are not just for decoration. I've actually read them all, right? So personal development, reading the right books, getting on podcasts like our podcast here, watching YouTube videos, hanging around the right people that can inspire you to greatness. So that's how I would answer that question. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. That's a great question. Yes, Tanya, absolutely. Courage to start. That's all you need. Create that courage to start. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Anthony. Do not take no's personally. Do not take no's personally because it's not personal. People that have 101 reasons why they're not buying. Sometimes they won't tell you. So it doesn't matter. All you do, believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing, believe that what you're doing is helping people. And that's it. That's all you have to worry about. Great comment, Anthony. Great comment. What systems do you use to get people on calls with you? Is that where most of your sales come from? Yes. So there are different ways to get people to get on calls with you, right? Some people are good, especially in this environment and this group. Some people are good at sending messages online, like with Facebook and everything. For me, I do more of attraction marketing, which is I put a lot of great content out there, right? So you give value to your target market, free value. So whether it's video, if you don't like video, just posts, right? Now you can do video without showing your face. It's there's all kinds of things you can do. So giving value, when you give value, some people will reach out to you, some people will comment. So, and then you just follow up with them, right? So that's one way. Another way is to collaborate with other people that do what you do or do something similar, right? So I do that a lot. I'm a sales coach. I collaborate with a mindset coach and we work together and we do lives together, things of that nature. And then some people do ads, Facebook ads, so there's so many different ways to actually get people to get on a call with you. Just being in this community helps because there's no way you can be a part of Digital Mentors and get on our weekly calls and not know what to do. There's no way, right? Because they are the best in the business. Brian, Jim, Norb, they are the best in the business. No other company, no other community like this community in the world. All right. All right. Yeah. So I hope I answered your question. Yes, absolutely, Robert. You have to do the work. Absolutely. There are no shortcuts to success, right? There's absolutely no shortcuts to success. You have to do the work. You can't get to the yeses without getting no's. You can't succeed without failing. It's not possible. It's just not possible, right? So the faster you fail, the better. I have a book called Failing Forward, John C. Maxwell. If you've never read it, pick it up. Failing Forward, one of my best books ever. And basically, he talks about the fact that if you're afraid to succeed, if you're afraid to fail, then you're afraid to succeed because you'll never succeed without failing. Right. So I appreciate that, Robert. Great comment. Great comment. Okay. I'm always afraid that the value I'll give isn't good enough or someone will say I'm wrong. Okay. So I think it's Tanis. Okay. That's valid. When you're afraid that the value you're giving is not enough, it's because you haven't sold yourself on what you're doing, right? You haven't sold yourself on what you're doing. And you have to sell yourself on what you're doing before you can sell it to others, right? So use it yourself. People say, I give a transformation to people. Well, have you been transformed? Or have you been transformed, right? People say my offer is $1,000. Well, have you paid $1,000 for a coaching program? Have you paid it before? You see what I'm saying? So the one of the things you have to do is use what you're actually giving to others to use and make sure you believe in it. Once you believe in it, you'll be able to talk to anybody about it. You'll be able to talk to anybody. Like for the things I offer, I am 1000% sure that it gives value, right? So I'm confident to share it. All right. All right. Any other questions? All right, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm doing my best. I appreciate that. Yes, I've learned a lot from Digital Mentors. So I like to share. All right, so I will. I know we've been here for about 30 minutes. I think that's the questions that we have here. So in that case, I just want to thank all of you for coming out this morning. Appreciate it. Again, if you haven't joined us, go to digitalmentors.com. Go to digitalmentors.com to sign up for the 14-day trial. You don't have to pay anything, just sign up and you will get value from this community in whatever you want to do. Whether you want to learn how to get leads, make sales, create a course or a coaching program, whatever it is, trust me, you'll get value. So Eric F. King here signing off. I appreciate you. And until next time, make it a great day.